So prison decks in Magic the Gathering are usually frowned upon because they tend to do nothing. They tend to be decks that don't do anything, they lock everybody out of playing all of their cards, and half the time they don't even have a win condition. Some people play prison exclusively to see how long they can chokehold a group. Now the concept of a prison deck isn't an issue. Your goal is to play protective cards until you get to the thing that you want to do so that you can kill everybody. Cool. But it gets a bad rap because in Commander, games already go for so long, and some people feel like prison decks don't do anything but make the games take longer. Winter Orb is notorious for being one of the most hated Magic cards in all of Magic the Gathering, because Winter Orb doesn't do anything. It prevents everybody from untapping their lands, but why? What does that do? How does that progress the game? It doesn't. But today, I'm gonna be showing you guys a Prison Commander deck that does progress the game. Mogis, God of Slaughter. Mogis, God of Slaughter is a 7/5 indestructible 4-mana commander for 2 colorless, a black and a red. Now, it's a part of the God enchantment cycle where it's not actually a creature until you hit a certain amount of devotion on the battlefield. Mogis, God of Slaughter needs cards on the battlefield to have at least 7 mana symbols that are black or red for him to be a creature. If you don't have 7 red or black mana symbols on the battlefield, then he's just an enchantment. And at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that opponent has to either sacrifice a creature or take 2 damage. Mogis, God of Slaughter is what I like to call a socially acceptable prison deck. Mogis, God of Slaughter also makes sure to halt the game, but people's life totals are going down. We're in Rakdos. There's no ghostly prisons or sphere of safeties or propagandas. Mogis is like a kidney stone. He's not gonna stop you from pissing, but if you do piss, it's just gonna hurt like a bitch. You wanna draw a card? Take 1 damage from Spiteful Visions and Underworld Dreams. Play a land? Cool. Lose 2 life from Polluted Bonds. Now you wanna tap your land? Awesome. Take 1 damage from Mana Barbs. You wanna cast a spell? Sweet. Lose 5 life or discard a card using Painful Quandary. I meant to say take 3 damage from cards like Fiery Emancipation, Furnace of Wrath, and Dictate of the Twin Gods. Oh, and you want to remedy this because you're a Selesnya player and you want to gain life? Nah, you can lose it instead with Tainted Remedy, and I'll gain it with Exquisite Blood. Which, by the way, because I happen to mention Exquisite Blood, I just want to let you guys know that I don't play any infinite combos or tutors in this deck, so there is no Sanguine Bond or Veto to just pop off and kill everyone. I personally don't find that playstyle fun, but when you check out the list down in the description below, feel free to go ahead and add whatever cards you want. Add infinite combos, add tutors, I don't care, it's your deck. Oh, it's the end of your turn? Wonderful! Go ahead and take damage equal to the amount of lands you didn't tap this turn because you were afraid of Mana Barbs. Because of Citadel of Pain, you take damage for all the lands you didn't tap, and after that, go ahead and lose life equal to the amount of life you've already lost this turn with Rune Reflection, basically doubling all the damage you've already taken. Does your pee-pee hurt yet? Well, maybe you should drink more water. Now, by doing all of this, your opponents are probably gonna want to hit you in the face, understandably. Game! To their credit, it is really fucking annoying that we're punishing them for taking normal game actions. Which, by the way, in my opinion, at least you guys are able to take those game actions. Imagine playing against White Prison. Cringe. But because they want to hit you in the face, now we gotta look at all the cards that make a prison deck a real prison deck, which are cards that make us play like a bitch. Just to kick things off simply, yes, we are playing Crawl Space and Ensnaring Bridge because why wouldn't we? I don't want to get hit. Do you want to get hit? I don't want to get hit. But like I said earlier, we're not playing cards like Propaganda or Ghostly Prison. We can't. We're black-red. And you would be surprised at the kind of prison cards that black-red has access to. You could stop opponents from attacking you with cards like No Mercy, which will destroy their creatures when they hit you. Or you could play cards like Glacial Crevices, which allows you to sacrifice a mountain for free to just fog out. We're also playing a less cringe version of Winter Orb in the form of Smoke, which is a 2 red mana enchantment that prevents people from untapping more than 1 creature per turn. And if you can't find any of those cards and you could tell that the other 3 players are about to jump you, well then go ahead and shit their pants by playing Disrupt Decorum and making them jump each other. And if you can't find Disrupt Decorum, it's okay. We have 12 removal spells. We are Rakdos. Of course we do. We got single target removal. We got board wipes. We got it all. And we have cards that synergize with our removal. Things like Blood for the Blood Gods or Black Market, which will give us a bunch of mana to help us out with our win conditions I haven't mentioned yet. Or things like Dingus Staff, which deals damage when creatures go into the graveyard. Or cards like Repercussion, which is an insane enchantment. Any damage done to your opponent's creatures are then done to your opponent's faces. So if you have a Fiery Emancipation on the table and you drop a Blasphemous Act, you are going to do 39 damage to all the creatures and then 39 damage to all of the opponent's faces. And guess what? We don't even have to cast any of these spells because we have things like Lethal Vapors and Tainted Aether, so creatures don't even come onto the battlefield to begin with. And this all works perfectly because we only have 6 creatures in the deck, one of which being our commander, and him and Erebos are both indestructible, so they can't even be blown up. 3 creatures that we only care about their enter the battlefield effects, so who cares if we have Lethal Vapors out, their triggers will still go off before they die. And then the only creature we have that we want to have stick around is Vile Smasher the Fierce, because we do have a lot of cards in our deck that have high converted mana cost, so if he sticks, he will do a lot of damage, but it's not necessary. We're also playing 2 Planeswalkers, one of them being Chandra Awakened Inferno, which has a +2 ability that puts an emblem on all of your opponents that they take 1 damage on their upkeep, and every time you uptick Chandra, it just adds another one of those emblems. We're also playing Koth, Fire of Resistance, who helps us fetch Snow Mountains out of our deck, so we can keep sacrificing them to Glacial Crevices so we can keep playing like a bitch, and then his ultimate allows us to make an emblem that's Valakut. And then to wrap everything up in a nice little painful bow, we have mana accelerators that help us cast our win cons. We already talked about Black Market. We also have cards like Mana Geyser and Jessica's Will. That way we can cast our 2 win condition cards, Exsanguinate, and my all-time favorite black card, Torment of Hailfire. By the time you cast either one of these cards, the general life total of the table should be pretty low already, so you don't need to dump an insane amount of mana to just finally kill everybody off. And that's the deck. I didn't go over every single card. You could check out the list down in the description below. The mana base isn't too crazy. It's typical Rakdos mana base. There's Mount Doom, which just came out from the Lord of the Rings set, which allows you to ping everybody for 1 damage. There's also Valakut, which will deal damage to your opponents if you play a mountain, but nothing out of the ordinary. As far as mana rocks go, I mean, Arcane Signet, Rakdos Signet, the Talisman, whatever. Nothing too fancy or crazy in that regard either. But that's the entirety of the list. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, press the subscribe button. Let me know that you're enjoying this content and that you want to see more Commander deck techs in the future. I haven't really gone into it. I'm still the Paper Popper player, and there will be more Paper Popper content coming. But for the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Enjoy Mogis God of Slaughter. It actually is my favorite Commander deck. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.